And one team that has shown that they can certainly throw the football as we move to the NHC East, Noble with quarterback A.J. Dove. They're off to a great start, especially in conference play. They traveled to Carroll in kind of a regional rivalry in that game, just down the highway a little bit. Carroll obviously lost to New Haven this past week, 35-7, so that was a tough ball game that they're going to have to bounce back from. But what does Carroll need to do? Because the defense is the strength in some ways of this football team, of the Chargers football team, against an East Noble offense that has a lot of speed in the skill positions.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for Carroll. Carroll got a dose of reality against New Haven. I thought Carroll would give New Haven a really good game, but I think that's more of a testament of how good New Haven is this year, that they beat them 35-7. And so the Carroll defense really struggled against New Haven's offense, especially Tavon Hurst, who everybody struggles in trying to contain him. One problem with East Noble this week, as far as Carroll's standpoint, is they have Tyler Truax back running the ball, in addition to A.J. Dove running the ball, in addition to A.J. Dove passing the ball. So it's going to be a really difficult chore for Carroll to stop them. If they had trouble containing New Haven, they're really going to have trouble containing East Noble. I don't look for this to be that close of a game. However, in the next few years, as Doug Dinan gets that Carroll program going, this will be a great series.
I agree. I do like East Noble in this one by a couple of touchdowns, but as you said, this is going to be a good series as we continue to see the Carroll Charger program grow. Also in the NHC, Belmont picked up a win down at Lucas Oil. They always seem to fare well in Indianapolis, as it turns out, against a Homestead team that's 3-1 and needed a last-second field goal to avoid a loss at Columbia City. So what do you see in this ball game? Because we know what Belmont's going to do, and I think we're still questioning what kind of Homestead team we're going to see every Friday night, especially defensively.
Well, it is. They're growing defensively, and they're trying to get better defensively. They did a nice job against Columbia City, though, because that's a prolific offense, and they held them to 28 points in Columbia City. So I know that's a decent amount of points, but that's a tough offense to hold down to 14 or 17 points. Homestead, I'll tell you, they're doing two things that are going to really help them later on in the year. They're running the ball now, and they're playing in close games. So these kids, once they get in the postseason and they're in a close game, they're not going to panic, because it seems like every single week they're in a close game. And last week against Columbia City, they ran the ball 51 times. So they're not just a spread offense that tries to dink and dork you all the way down the field with Zach Terrell. They're running the ball really, really well.
Who do you like in this one then?
I really like Homestead by a comfortable margin. If Forrest Fullenkamp is healthy, then it's a different matter, because Belmont can run the ball so effectively and keep Homestead's offense off the field. But he's not. He's not going to play. He's out for the season. And so really I look for Homestead to win this by about 14.
See, this is my upset special of the week. I like Belmont to win it because I see them controlling the football. I see Homestead coming out jacked up and maybe making one mistake, maybe two mistakes, an accidental turnover, a thing like that. And then Belmont just grinds that clock 8 minutes at a time. And, you know, you make a couple mistakes against Belmont and let them have the football and run 90 yards on you. I mean, that's going to be tough, because Homestead has struggled against the run this year.
You know, I tell you what Homestead's done is they've turned the ball over this year. Zach Terrell has gone from great to pretty good. He hasn't had the Zach Terrell year that I really expected. Now, the year's not over yet. He's got a lot of games left. But he's had some interceptions this year, whereas last year it seemed like he never threw any interceptions. So it is possible that Belmont could create some turnovers.
That is my upset special for the week. I'm sticking to it. Although if you watch the paper, don't actually pay any attention to what I do, because I'm in last place in the paper.
Yeah, these conference races are great until you actually have to start picking the games. Then you struggle.
I struggle mightily, personally. Moving on to our final game that we're going to talk about, NECC, Angola at 4-0, Busco at 4-0. I know you like Busco in this one, but coming in, Angola has definitely played the tougher schedule, which includes a tough win against Lakeland at home last week, and also will win against a 4A team in DeKalb in week 2. So they might be a little more prepared, in a sense, for a big game like this.
Well, Angola is having a special year. It's one of their better years that they've had in recent history. So it'll be closer than most of these games have been in the recent history. Since the series has resumed in 2005, though, Cherubusco's never lost this series or lost this game, and they're not going to this year. They're just so difficult. They run the ball so well. I mean, Kyle Mathewson had almost 200 yards rushing last week against Eastside, 4 touchdowns. They scored 60 points, I believe. I mean, their rushing attack is just so difficult. And they have the capability of throwing it 8, 9, 10 times a game if they need to. So, yes, it'll be a closer game because this is the best Angola team in recent memory, but it's not going to be close enough that Angola Angola can upset them.
Is it all about stopping Kyle Mathewson? Because the Monk kid at quarterback is pretty good, but when you take a look at the NECC, the guys that are coming out on Friday night, they don't all look like Kyle Mathewson. I mean, you're talking 6'1", 220. Lee Etzler's told me he thinks he's a Division I linebacking prospect. I mean, he's like the all-airport team when it comes to the NECC.
Yeah, well, he is bigger, stronger, and faster than most of the guys that he goes up against. But like I said, Monk is capable of throwing the ball 8 or 9, 10 times a game. So when you crowd the line of scrimmage and say, okay, we're going to stop Mathewson on this, and another thing, all the different angles that they run, it's so difficult to know where they're going to go. I mean, they use misdirection every play, and you don't know where the ball's going. But Monk is capable of just throwing it right over that linebacker's head and hitting somebody for a 15, 16-yard gain, if need be, once you crowd the line of scrimmage.
So you're going with Busco in this one?
Oh, easily. Busco will win by about 17.
I'm going to say upset special number 2.
You and I never agree.
I know. I'm going to go with Angola. It would be boring if we did. I'm going to go with Angola. I like what they got going on. I like Alex Bauer. I think Robbie Boots is one of the best receivers in the area, and we'll have to see how it plays out on Friday.
All right.
All right, there we go. Another week of Inside the Zone is in the books, and we'll be back next Monday to, I guess, delve into what we saw here in Week 5. Thanks very much.